Okay, so I thought with the topic today being divorce that we'd take a few minutes and just give you some ideas here on how to record the divorce in our Legacy family tree software. So I've got Legacy open here, and let's make this a little bigger. So I've got one of my ancestors here, my second great-granduncle, Ralph Brown. And at some point in my research, I learned that he was divorced from Anna Nancy Brown. Now, I wouldn't know that by looking here on the screen, but I'm going to give you an idea on how to display the marriage status here on the screen. So first of all, just open up the marriage information bar here. And here, of course, is the original date and the place. Right underneath that, you have a place to enter the status. And you can click on the blue arrow, and I think it shows several, how would I say this? Marriage statuses. So you can select from the list, or you can type in your own status here. And then you're welcome to put in a date here. And let me show you, before I get to this down here, let me show you how this can be visible on your screen if you'd like it to be. So I'll click Save. We need to just turn on the option to display this status on the screen. This is found under Options, Customize, and it's under number 8, View. And we'll scroll down to 8.10 and just make sure that there's a check mark here for on marriage info, and even I'll turn this one on for on children. And when you click the Save button, it should it does display that status right here. Now, if you want this status to also appear in your reports, like a family group record, I'll show you how to turn that on. We click on Reports, and let's go to Family Group Record. We'll next go to Report Options. And right here is a check mark for Marriage Status. Okay, so I'll click Close, and then let's preview this family group record. Yeah. Whoops, just a second. Down here, I guess I had last selected for my record selection a focus group. Let me change that to only the current family or individual. And now I'll click Preview. Okay, so as we zoom in, here in the marriage bar, it gives us that the date of the marriage, but then also the date that the divorce took place. And that's there because of that marriage status. Now, you may also wish to open up the marriage screen and add some more information about that, the divorce. And that's where the marriage events / facts come in. So to add a new one, we would click on the Add button and fill in the details here. But let me back up and I'll just edit the one that I've already got typed in. So here's the event name, the date, and the place. And down here is a spot where you can record anything else that you'd like to. And I know that I've added a citation for this information because the source icon is color. Has color, so it's blue, and in other words, it's not just grayed out like these others. So if I click on it, this will show me the citation that I recorded once upon a time. I know that I must have recorded this quite a while ago because it doesn't have a little this little bullet sign in front of it, denoting that this was created with the SourceWriter template system. Regardless, I can see that I located this in the Spokane County Superior Court, and I've got the case number there, and on the repository tab, I've recorded where this information came from. Now, how this affects your timeline or the chronology view, let's take a look at that really quickly. The most powerful part of the software in helping us analyze our ancestors' research and their lives. So this has gathered information about his life from multiple places, and right down here, you'll notice that it's got divorce listed there twice. Well, I believe the reason that it's there 2 different times, the second one here is listed there because of that marriage status that I had entered. And because I entered that, remember, it can show up on my family view or on my family group record. But that marriage status doesn't have a field for the place, and that's why this is left blank. This one right here is from that marriage event that I entered, where not only the location, but any additional notes can be recorded there, showing me that he was 42 years old at the time. Now, this should also appear on Anna's screen, so let's take a look at that. I'll click on Anna, and then I'll click on her chronology tab, and indeed, it shows the marriage, and just below that, she was age 39 at the time of the divorce. Okay, let me head over here. I think that's what I had recorded here on my slide to remind me to show you here. Now I'm going to head over to the question panel and just see if there's any other follow-up questions. Okay, David, it looks like I've answered yours now. Michelle, yes, the after webinar party is always included in the recording. Elaine is asking, why are some in blue and others in green? Okay, here on the chronology view, some of these events, yeah, there's different colors. If we go down to the options button and I click on display options, right here is where I can assign a different color to different kinds of events just to help me differentiate, in this case, between marriage events, individual events, extended family, and you can click on the color label here and you can choose whatever color you want. Carl is asking about the chat log. Yeah, there's quite a few of you asking about this. I'll go up to the webinar library and let's go and take a look at last week's webinar with Warren Bittner, and I'll click right here. This is where the chat logs are available for past webinars. So you just need to log in as a member and you'll have access to those. Constance is asking, is there a way to show the marriage on the individual's page? I'm going to guess that well, let's see. If you're talking about the individual page being this page, no, it's not. It's not here by default. This is where you would enter the information about this specific individual. The marriage information would be entered here, and then that's the plus of the chronology view, is it will take the information from the marriage, from the individual, and even from children and surrounding family members and put them here all in one spot. Yeah, Mary's asking about how did I enter these city directories that are showing up here? Yeah, the thing I love about directories, these city directories, is it gives me a spot it gives me a place for each year for that person, and you'll notice it lists how the person's name is spelled, their occupation, who they worked for, their address, and sometimes lots of other goodies you'll find. Well, let's go back to the family view for him and open up his individual screen. Yeah, they've just been entered as separate events here. And so if I click right here and edit, this will show you how I've typed that in. So the name, the date, the place, and then the transcription. And because that's been entered as an event, then it will show up on his timeline. Okay, Mitch, good question. Mitch is saying that when he looks at the chronology view, it shows up as a table. How can you change it back? Well, right down here. I don't ever. Well, there's only one occasion where I'll switch it over to the list style when I'm when I'm using the split screen feature and comparing two different people side by side is when I'll use this style. Some people like this style, not real pretty or anything, but it's nice. Switch back to report style, and that's how it shows up there. Just looking at other comments and questions here. Okay, Celia is saying in other words, she's saying cool. She's glad that she saw this here. Answered this question. I want to get to as many of these as I can. Got that one. Got this one. Yeah, Susan. She says if entered as event, would it show up in the individual summary? I think you're referring back to the marriage, Susan. Yeah, if you entered it as an individual event, then it would show up in the individual summary. Aline's asking an interesting question about stepchildren. Let me go to a good example here, and let's just see if this will answer it. So, yeah, Asa and Eleanor, they were married in 1832, and notice these it's got this half symbol in front of some of the children down here, representing that they are half siblings, or they shared one common parent with the children that Asa and Eleanor had. And Aline is asking, will these show up on the person's chronology? Yeah, let's go take a look. So if I click on chronology, notice that those children from the first marriage are showing initially because they were born first. Here comes the second marriage, and then there's the children from the second marriage. Yeah, that's these half symbol. This is turned on by default. If it's not there for you, you can right-click on any child, click on View, and then right here it says Show Half Kids. Okay, Janet is asking about the chronology view. Can you make the font bigger on this screen? Well, yes and no. Let me click on Options, and if we go to Report, this is where you can click on the zoom button. So that's one way that you can enlarge the font here. I don't think in this area here, I don't think that can be. Let me just take a quick look. Let's go to, and maybe I'll surprise myself, I don't know. Screen fonts. Here you can choose the font, but I don't think that gives you flexibility over the size. Okay. Yeah, Dennis is asking, why just use directory instead of city directory to be able to tell this event from other kinds of directories? So we're talking about Ralph here. This is how I used to do it, Dennis. Yeah, today I'll type in the word city directory just to make it more clear. Okay, Deborah's got a question about the marriages showing up out of order. A couple of ways to resolve this. One, look here at this person's spouse icon. Click on it. And you can just click on the sort button here, or you can manually change the order. Or in Legacy 8, we added a new feature. I think it's on the Tools tab. It's right around here somewhere. It's a sorting tool. Yeah, right here. So I've clicked on this little button next to Media Relinker. And it says, it starts with the word sort. So just put a check mark right here and click on sort the selected lists, and that will go through your entire family file and make sure that all of your marriages are sorted correctly. Okay, everyone, it's lunchtime for me. It might be getting close to dinner time for some of you, depending on where you're at. Thanks for staying around here with me. This has been enjoyable. We all learn from each other. So until Friday, we'll see you then. Bye-bye.